doing? Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, dude, thanks for hopping on. Like you said, a rare day for a rare day for you is a day off, and I appreciate your time. I know how valuable an artist's time is.
No, I mean, I was happy to do it. I'm always happy to hop on. I've been following you for a long time, man. I think since like probably 2020. So it's
Yeah,
good.
you're the first video I ever redone because I people don't know the story. You shot a video for If I Were the Devil all in one take, and
Correct.
it's a really cool video. And the headphones, they're very sensitive, and it just I get they kept the camera noise in, right, and people are like, I don't hear it, and then I was like, no, it's there, and then I didn't realize that like I totally took away from the song. And I know we were
Well,
messaging back and forth.
I do remember that, but I appreciate you making another one. Um, but yeah, man, no, I mean, but ever since then, I still followed you and I've liked all the stuff you've been doing. You guys have been doing amazing stuff. So I'm just happy to be a part of it.
Yeah, and I know you're doing great because when I do a Colby Acuff song, it gets muted. So I know you've progressed from probably independent into some. A lot of times it's like a Universal or Sony. They just after a minute they don't want to see anything after a minute. But I just know.
Yeah, I mean, I was with Sony for a couple years, but I actually just left in December, so I'm back to
Okay.
being independent again. So
Okay.
use
Cool.
it all you want.
Yeah. Yeah. And then now is independent. Is that just how you want to stay?
For now, yeah. I'm not sure. I mean, I'm not gonna say that I would never not be with a record label ever again. And I wouldn't even say that my time at Sony was necessarily bad. It just got to the point where it wasn't the right fit for me, and I needed some time to, I would say, like go and try to be independent again for a second. And so that's kind of what we're doing.
That's cool. It, it is nice when you have control of everything, and because it's your name. It,
Oh
it's
yeah.
it's got to be a weird feeling where people are telling you what you do when your name is that there's nothing more representative of yourself. And
Yeah, and I think also at the end of the day, it's just like really hard to find anybody who's gonna, well, kind of like what you're saying, but it's hard to find anyone that's gonna care more about it than I do, because it's my name. It's like my business, and I just feel like that's what I'm looking for in a partner. And towards the tail end of that relationship, I wasn't necessarily getting it. So I knew that I would care a lot about it. So, and I know that like my managers do and stuff. So that was kind of my thought process going into being independent again. And once again, I'm not saying that I would never be with another record label, but it's got to be the right fit.
yeah, yeah, it's cool. And man, your last album, there's a song on it called "Bruised." I don't know how I missed it. I just recently listened to it, and that is an awesome song. From just sonically, the dynamics, it reminded me of like, man, I really liked heavy music, and then I just remember finding like the beautiful sounds of Pink Floyd, like "Goodbye
Yeah.
Blue Sky," and it has that, and I was like so excited because no one really captures that magic anymore. And man, it was such like okay, I need to like sit down with the lyrics, but it's such a peaceful song, and it's very nostalgic for me of
Yeah.
of to hear it done that way. I just wanted to let you know I love it because
Yeah.
when
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, my
no, I
bad.
was just gonna say when people were asking, like who's going to be on podcasts, it'll be like Colby Acuff, and they're like, what should I listen to him? And it's an interesting question because do you focus on the diversity of your art or your vocals? Because it's different.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. We have a lot of different records out there and a lot of different sounds, and I've tried to make every record as different as possible. And with that, kind of by accident, and that's not even something I mean to do, but like by making, different records, I end up with kind of different voice stylings on a lot of them. And with the record American Sun, which to kind of piggyback off your point, like I thought Bruce was going to be just a home run for us. And it turned out to be just like whatever, like no one really few, like I just never really, no one really ever grabbed onto it. But I thought that was going to be a for sure slam dunk for us. But I love that song too. I love that song. I'm really happy that you referenced Pink Floyd because that was definitely my whole idea going into it. Was like, man, this reminds me so much of like all the tones of Pink Floyd and how, and even like the writing of it and everything. But anyway, yeah, you end up with like that vocal performance in Bruised. It's like so soft and subdued, and then like turns way on. And some of my records, it's like always 100%. Some of my records, it's like sitting back a lot more for the entirety of it. So I don't know. I think it just kind of comes with. Um, I always want to write something new, I guess, and so I'm always trying something else, I guess.
Dude, I love it. Like it's you're not put in a box, and like it just doesn't have like what country had that I had heard. Just it has absolutely none of that, and like yeah, you can go from bruised, and then if you're on shuffle, and it's starving, which is
Yeah,
absolutely epic harmonies, and it's great, and I love that. And then like American Sun, that song, I did not expect it to be like that. You know what I mean? Like I was
yeah,
like, man, it's just I just love like just how you approach music and everything. And I like when people would ask, what genre is he? This kind of country, this or just roots? And I'm like, dude, I don't know. Just it's just music. It's just good music. Just listen to it because,
yeah,
like you said, I like how your voice sits, and you can hear just if you really listen to your voice. I love it. It has this like smooth with some grit to it. It has like sometimes I'll hear like Stapleton, and when you do like songs, duet song, I hear a lot of like Muscadine Bloodline, and like there's a lot of cool tonality in your voice, but also it's your voice is your voice, and
right.
I really like the dynamic of it, because some people they stick in their lane, and people come to expect if they do anything outside the box, it's like, whoa, what's going on here? And I really like just the variety of everything you have
Yeah,
and
I mean,
what you put
we
out.
try to be, I mean, whether it's the live show or whether we're making a record or anybody that, pretty much works with direct contact with the music, um, we try to make like a love letter to music every time that we play or do something. I, you know, I think the songs just happen to kind of come out that way when I'm writing, mostly because I don't like to write the same thing over and over again. I try not to. It makes it mundane for me. So I'm always looking for something new to put on, pen and paper. And that also kind of leads me down the rabbit hole of like exploring the guitar a little bit more, or like exploring these chord structures and like trying to figure out, what is something that sounds new and exciting to write over versus the same thing every time. Um, and that's usually like what ends up on the record is anything that's new and exciting that I really like. Because if it's exciting to play, it's also exciting to sing. And if I'm excited about it, then I hopefully wrote a good song over it. And like, those are the kind of things I think that for me, we try really hard. I mean, even like in our live show is, we don't play anything like the record essentially. Um, I, I have a six-piece band. I let the five boys pretty much play whatever they want. Obviously, there's like essential melody hooks and stuff that they play, but other than that, I mean, it's pretty loose ended. Like we just want to. I mean, we got into this because we were six guys that really like to make music, and when we're still the six same dudes, just standing up on stage, playing what we like. So that really hasn't changed.
Yep. I went on forums, obviously doing some research, and everybody has always commented on how great your live show is. It was really cool to read that.
Well, I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, I hope we put on a good live show. That's like kind of we all came up in live music. I mean, I played my first bar when I was 11. Um, and I've just kind of been doing it ever since. And all the guys in my band, before we got to play original music full time for a living, like so many other bands, we were a honky tonk cover band playing 3-4 hours a night, and we're all from the Northwest originally. We're all from Idaho, but we played every kind of dive bar from Seattle to Cheyenne, and we played them a lot. We played 100 plus shows a year back then. Still playing 100 plus shows a year now. It's a little more fun now. We can play our own stuff, a little shorter sets. It's nice.
Yeah.
But like we came up playing a bunch of covers and playing live music and making those songs our own. And when we go into a live show, even I still think we do that even with our own music. I do think that is still the move. We've always said that when people come to a show, if you were a cover band, they're not wanting to hear the song that they love so much exactly the way that they've always heard it. They want to hear you play that song.
Yeah.
And I think even with original music, like if I played every single night, every single song, just like we played on the record, I don't think I would love playing live music as much as I do. And, also to be just 100% transparent, like I think obviously with what I just said, but, we're a live band. There's no click, there's no tracks, there's no anything. Like if we have a good show, you're going to love it. And if we mess up, you're going to hear that too. Like we're really just trying to make music the way it was supposed to be.
Yeah. I love that because I agree. The human element is just paramount to live music, and
it's
people,
fine if you mess up. It is
yeah,
what it is. I mean, Jesus, it's like mess up all the time.
yeah,
They used to do it all the time. It's like,
it's like in the guitar community, like Instagram, like miming. I get it. It has places. People have been doing it forever, but it's funny when like you make a mistake, and the musicians are watching you. They know. It's so hard not to make a face, and it's just being a musician. It's funny, like especially like
yeah, but I mean, in my mind, it's like it shows what you're doing is real.
yeah,
Like I mean, shit, I sometimes I forget the words, but like if I do, I just laugh about it. I talk about it on the mic, and I always say, like, if we do make a mistake, I do always say, like, this is a live show. For some reason, though, which is beyond me, it's becoming so rare. It is becoming so rare to have a live show. It's like everything, or even like, singing without auto tune. Like anything in that realm, there's so much of this, like, well, in the modern era, everybody is so acute to like perfection because everything that they've listened to, I mean, not everything, but a lot of the things that people listen to on a very large scale aren't necessarily super real. There's a lot of other factors that go into it that make it sound the way it is. And I guess like on a record, sure, but when it starts bleeding into live shows and it starts getting into like the reality experience of it all, it's hard for me to be on board with that. I think that giving people a show that is 100% live and human and real and ebbs and flows, like time doesn't have to be perfect in my personal opinion. Like I think time is something that can shift 3 clicks to the left or the right, in the right times. And I think it makes the show better, you know? Anyway, that's just, I don't know, I'm kind of getting down the rabbit hole there, but that kind of stuff for me is very important in our live show.
yeah, and dude, like when you're like feeling the crowd, I mean, genres have been made with that energy, like thrash metal. Like they say,
Yeah,
like Lars Ulrich and Metallica was just like so excited. You follow the drummer. Hey, we're doing this. We're gonna burn the bar down tonight. Like
exactly.
and I love that. And like, man, I saw like one of the bands I always like grew up like and really liked their stuff, and it was so plastic, and it was like listening to the CD on the way there. They didn't go a couple extra bars. They didn't like feel it out. It was just so like it was like curated. Like it always blows my mind. Like when you see like even like comedians, you see the red uh, digital clock, and they always looking down at the clock. Like everything's timed, and it's just almost like it just takes the life out of it, especially when you start as the audience starts noticing it, and it's just kind of like really, like
Yeah.
Sometimes sometimes you like the people, they want to hear more of your song. So give it to them. I
Yeah. And it is about that. I mean, it is about the crowd and, like for a lot of people too, like, we do it 4 or 5 days a week. We go play a show. But for a lot of people, I mean, they're coming to this show. It might be the one night a month that they get out and, get a babysitter or they get one night off of school and it's in their college town. So they're going to go. I mean, don't get me wrong, college kids are going out all the time, but like, it might be the one night that they get to go to a show or whatever it is. And so it might be the fourth show of the week for us. But for them, it might be the first show of the year. It could be their first show of the month. It could be a show that they've been waiting for 4 months and bought tickets, as soon as it came out. Whatever it is, we owe them something. And when we walk on stage, like for however long we play, because we play anywhere from like 90 to 120 minutes for a live show. And however long we play, like it's whatever they want to do, I mean, that's the world that we came up in once again. If if we got done with a 3-hour set and someone walked up to the stage and said, hey man, I'll pay you an extra $200 to play another hour, like there we were scrambling for songs and we play another hour. I mean, I think our longest set we ever played was 6 hours.
Wow.
And they just kept throwing money, like just, not a ton, but it was like, hey, here's $100, here's a couple $100, like play again, keep going, keep going. We just play these dive bars, and people wanted to hear more music, so we would play. And I still feel that mentality when we're on stage, like, but that being said, I also don't just play an encore. Like you gotta, if I'm going to go out there for another encore, they absolutely have to want it.
Yeah.
They have to want it. And it could just be one person that says encore and then we'll go give it to them. But if no one says shit, then we're not going out there.
That's funny. You just see it just like waiting for it.
Well, we've done it a couple different ways, and I've just found that like, because it's a two-way road. Like if I walk out on stage and on the very first hit, I give 100%. The crowd sees that, they give back 120. Now I can give back X, and it's like this exchange all night. But if I walk out there on the first hit, give 100 and get back 10, that could be kind of a long night, which we had some of those before. And on the final hit, if they're not super excited on the final hit, if I go back out there, they're not going to be twice as excited when I get done with the encore, So like, just kind of depends. But I mean, it's for the people that deserve it and earn it, in my personal opinion. So then we're lucky. I'd say, 99.9% of the time, they absolutely deserve it. So,
yeah. So yeah, if you're a huge Colby Acuff fan and you're at a show, you got to do your part.
Yeah, yeah, we need your help. Come on.
I love that. It's funny. It's like the old guys, like in the 70s, and I always see pictures of them like eating because they were playing so long. They got hungry. Like not a lot of people realize that how long like sets were back in the day. And
oh yeah, I mean, once again, like I said, I mean, we used to play those 3 or 4 hour sets, 3 or 4 times a week, just absolutely brutal. I mean, we'd go play like 4-hour shows I remember this one Roadhouse, we would do like, we would do Friday, Saturday nights, and it was 4-hour sets each night, and we got paid $1,500 for the whole weekend. And he sold tickets and kept the bar. The ticket cap was $750, and we would sell it out Friday, Saturday night, and we would see nothing of it. Brutal.
Oh yeah,
absolutely brutal.
Yeah, and not a lot of people know that. Of sometimes that's the artists are up there and everyone's like, oh, they're doing great. No, this place is doing great.
Yeah, oh yeah, this Roadhouse is sick. Everyone's like, oh, I just love that place so much. I'm like, oh, I can't stand it, man.
It's gotta be frustrating. And then I also heard you talk about that, and then you say you never had set list, and it's just
Yeah.
As a guitar player, I'd be like, K-Bo, what?
Yeah, I mean, it was harder on my guitar player for sure. But I just got so tired of when we were just playing the covers all the time, like, some of those cover gigs too. I mean, the biggest difference obviously is like when you're a cover band, like, you walk in and no one knows who you are and nobody's asking you to play songs that are yours.
Yeah.
And we got towards the tail end, we did actually have a following coming out and they were asking for original music and stuff. But in the beginning, I'm like, dude, these guys don't care if we play Country Roads or Walk the Line or whatever, or Driving My Life Away. They're gonna react the exact same to all three of those songs. you know? And it's either gonna be like, oh man, I love this song, back to whatever they were doing, or no acknowledgement, do what they're doing. So I just got tired of trying to write a set list for having no idea what we were walking into and kind of not a lot of reward for it. So I'm like, let's just make it fun for us and we'll just pull from the deck of cards, see what we play.
Yeah. Is there a cover song you've absolutely retired that you just
Oh,
wish you
there's
would?
so many. One that I didn't even like in the first place, I might get some grief for this, but was Friends in Low Places. And I just cannot with that song and a lot of his songs, to be honest. But the reason why actually we kind of never played it very much. We'd play it like maybe at a wedding, if we had a wedding gig, or like, if we were really struggling to get people to turn their heads. It's like that Sweet Home Alabama, Johnny Be Good, Friends in Low Places, just. And I still love playing Johnny Be Good, to be honest, but like there's so many songs that just get run out when you're
Yeah.
in a cover band. And but we had staved off from Friends in Low Places for a long time until that Roadhouse gig. The part of our 4-hour set was a mandatory at X time. You have to play Friends in Low Places, and everyone dances on the tables.
It's in the contract.
It's in the contract, literally. So after that, I was like, I hate this song. I never want to play this song again.
That's
So
funny.
yeah.
Mine was Copperhead Road.
Never played it. We never played it.
It's 2 chords. I was
No.
like, I
As a
could go
guitar
to
player, it's brutal.
yeah. At the hard, we used to say the hardest part is getting through it, but people love it. They always ask for it, and I'm like, it's bring, and
Yeah.
bring, and then there's only one part, and then it's back to, and I'm like, who wants to play this? I'm like, I gotta go to the bathroom. I gotta get a drink, and it's yeah, a song like that. And I actually sat down and was like, listen, I'm gonna sit down and listen to this song and actually listen to the lyrics. I was like, all right, this is a solid song, but
Yeah, it's still Steve Earle. Like, it's
yeah,
great, and it's, that's the thing. It's like, it's not so much that these songs are bad, it's they just get run through the cover circuit so bad. And I mean, like, I remember when I was a kid, like, uh, I listened to, like, when I very first heard the Old Crow Medicine Show Wagon Wheel. This is like way before Darius Rucker put out his version where it got so big, but it was pretty big. I mean, it was really large with just like that bluegrass kind of early on Americana folk community. But where it was huge was in cover gigs, because I felt like, I mean, I played it a ton, but what you felt like is you were getting away with a one off because it wasn't a pop hit, but it was a great song. And so people would love it or know it and be like, oh, that's a deep cut. And it just like built up and up and up and up. And I remember it was kind of like White House Road, like later on. But like at some point, it's like at any second, at any given time, there was a cover band somewhere playing Wagon Wheel.
yeah,
Like, it was super, super popular. And so that I don't know, in my mind, that's kind of the same effect as all these other songs.
yeah. I don't think I ever knew that was a cover song.
Oh, really? Yeah, Old Crow did it. Well, Old Crow actually. So Bob Dylan wrote the chorus, and Old Crow was like going through a bunch of Bob Dylan stuff, and they were like, "What is this?" And he was like, "I don't know. You can just have it." So they finished it, put out Wagon Wheel, and then like 12 years later, Darius Rucker puts out the country mainstream version of it, which then exploded.
Wow. I had no idea. Bob Dylan's involved.
Oh
That's
yeah, it's got a crazy history. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, and like there's probably a lot of people that think that's his song. It's
Oh, of course, of course.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that song like just walking down Broadway, you're going to hear that 30 times.
I mean, that's if you're there for 30 seconds. You know,
Yeah,
that song, it's being played a lot. A lot of, I mean, anytime something's hot, it's ripping down there for sure.
yeah. Now, if you could have any artists cover your songs, who would you want to have do a Colby Acuff song?
Oh my God. It's funny, no one's ever asked me that. I mean, I don't know. I think it personally, I think it would be cool if it was a younger artist actually. Just because there's like a whole thing for me where like doing a song with like a hero or like someone I look up to is a different thing than having someone cover it. And I think if there was a younger artist who cut it, then that would mean that I influenced somebody enough to where they would want to cut that song. And I think for me, that would be really cool. So I don't know, like I've had my interactions with people, you know, when they're coming up and had a lot of conversations with a lot of great people. But like, I don't know, I think it'd be cool if someone like, I mean, I would say like if, I don't know, like maybe Baker Blankenship or Waylon Wyatt or I don't know, one of the young bucks who are doing really well right now. It'd be cool to see that kind of come full circle.
Yeah. Yes. I hope they're listening. It's
Yeah.
definitely cool to see as well. But yeah, it's like when I first started TikTok, like you're like one of the cooler ones. And when we're getting ready to do the podcast, I was just thinking like there's a there's not a lot of people that have gotten like big that there's no not like controversy, but nothing like did you see Colby Acuff show or what happened or like an event or it's always been about the music. It hasn't been like something like you said or like a hot just like a viral like had nothing to do with the music because I know a lot of the guys they got because just crowds being crazy and like getting
Yeah.
hit with stuff and I just from just thinking I was like man it's with you it's always just been about your music. I was like I don't know if that's like a like a cool thing or you know what I mean
If
like
anything, it's dumb luck. But I also kind of think that maybe that's something that my career is actually missing. It's
oh,
something that's controversial for people to talk about. But no, we've been really lucky in that sense. But at the end of the day, man, like we don't do anything controversial. Like we, I mean, like I was saying, I don't really know. When people are like, "What's the band like? What's it like on the road? What are you guys like?" I say I got 9 guys on the road with us, and I'm like, dude, we literally just we're mega nerds, first of all. Like we're nerdy about everything that we do. We're the most like stereotypical classic 9 guys. We're just dudes trying to hang out with each other. Like we care a lot more about probably having a beer with one another than, you know, talking to a girl even. Like we just want to hang out and have a good time. And so yeah, we don't, usually get into too much trouble by any means, but we've been lucky in that way as well. But yeah, I mean, I don't think a controversial moment, if it's not too serious, wouldn't hurt me too bad. But at the same time, we have great fans too, and they usually just because it's kind of always been about the music, we do end up kind of seeing that that's what they're there for. No one comes to my show to look at me. No one comes to my show to, try to get one up on life and, say that they were there. They come because their favorite song is probably going to be played or a song that has some impact to them or just they like the music in general. And so we're really fortunate that our fan base is song fans.
Yeah, that's yeah. I like that too because there are just some bands that I absolutely love, but like seeing the TikTok, you know, it's like stuff being thrown and all the like the craziness. It's just like, I did, hopefully someone go live and I'll watch it that way.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's the industry, especially in the last year or so, has changed so much again, though. Like I've just noticed a massive shift in kind of just how everything is, I don't know, how everything just kind of is, if I'm just being 100% honest. And whether it's for good or for bad, it is what it is. It is the shift. It's like coming out of whatever, COVID kind of brought in, and there's some leftover for sure that are, able to still perform in the market. But the market has changed. The industry has changed. It's coming into the whatever the next thing is.
Do you like the change or just
Um, what it feels to me like is from the pandemic came a very large musical renaissance, particularly in music that I would define as good. And there are some amazing bands and acts that are, um, finding success right now that are really great. But this era also kind of reminds me of like when I was a kid and like the mid early 2000s where the labels caught up, from the 90s, and the major labels caught up and, figured out a way to kind of use what was cool in the 90s, kind of then make it their own version of it and package it and sell it essentially.
yeah.
Um, so to say I like it or not, I don't really know if that's like the right question, but for someone like me, do I particularly enjoy what's happening? It's like I've seen this movie before. Is
I
kind of
gotcha.
the thing. I'm like, I know how this plays out. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
Now, if you had to pick an era of a spot in time where you could be the same age right now, do you have like a time of where you really think you would shine?
yeah, oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I definitely think that in the 70s, probably, I think the best music was probably made in the 70s, um, like 50s, 70s. Um, the 90s is interesting because there's like a lot of really great, uh, music being played, and there's also a lot of really monumental things that are happening, especially for country music in that time, that kind of then got us here where we are now. The 90s, I think, would be maybe the toughest time to break out, but if you did, you were, star. And then I also wish I was like this age, but like in maybe like 2015. I think those three-ish times, those would have been good. And I think probably like in like from now until like, I don't know, maybe like 6 years from now would be a good time to be me. The way things are going. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited to be a part of. I am really happy that I got to, or I'm getting to make music when I am. I
Hmm.
wouldn't trade it necessarily. I just think there was a lot of really great things being made in the 70s.
Yeah, definitely no filler. It was
Yeah,
all yeah. Just I mean, you had to be incredible. There was no
and
magic.
people enjoyed. It was kind of one of those things where, uh, something happened in the 70s, and I don't really know what it was, but between essentially the labels, the producers, the artists, the bands, and the consumers, everybody was kind of in this in the same boat of like, we want music to be good and like kind of, because it's so rare that, the musical education of the consumer matches what is some of the more difficult things that a musician can play. or like when sonically it's not just straight down the middle, but there's like some edge to it, and the people are kind of playing not more difficult things, but just more interesting things, I guess is what I should say.
Yeah.
Kind of more like in the musical exploration space of it. And I feel like they definitely got that in the 70s, which was really cool.
Yeah. And man, like it's crazy to think like back, like guitar amps didn't have distortion or anything, and just how they would make the effects themselves, and just random stuff they would make sounds with, and just it definitely was cool. Like I always say like back in the day, like as soon as you heard a guitar tone, you knew what band it was, even before the singer. And
Yeah,
I
so
miss that.
true.
I miss
Yeah,
that so
I
much.
know, me too. Yeah, there's a lot of that though. I mean, it's I don't know. Another side of this too is like I'm just getting a little bit older now. I'm not in my young 20s anymore, and I'm in my later 20s, and I'm rapidly approaching 30. And it's one of those things where, I think, your generation, like, you just kind of watch it happen in front of you, where like your generation is getting older with you. And my job now is to appeal to the generation below me, as far as like on that consumer level. Um, and I think, we've always our music's kind of been for everyone and anyone anyway. And the only thing you can do is just hope that, like that next generation thinks what you're doing is cool. Like that's it. And, I think as far as we've seen, it's been doing pretty good. So we're not super concerned, but it is tough when it's obviously not my generation driving the ship anymore. And I can see that, where I'm like, oh well, this is different. I have to learn. I have to understand why. And kind of going down that whole rabbit hole.
Yeah. I mean, what are your crowds like? You gotta appeal to a lot of generations, because like, man, there's some songs with like you got like all the soulful sinner singing and stuff like that, and like even how do I feel alive? It sounds like punk rock, but
Yeah.
done really well. Man, that the harmonies on that are great. And I love the beat, and I love how it's got like a cool, like, man, like tap your toe, but still like I feel like you can be like, hey grandma, listen to this, like
Yeah. Yeah.
without,
It's not,
like it has the
yeah.
same energy of like Black Flag or something, or
Hmm.
but it's all like clean sounds. I love that.
Yeah. We try to run. I mean, we really do try to make things like with tone and everything, we're trying to essentially a lot of our tones that we use and in pretty much all of our records, everything is pretty dry. We don't throw a ton of reverb on basically anything. I'm not saying there's no reverb on it, but it is pretty dry. And it's all made with real instruments and tube amps, and like kind of how they used to do it. Um, but yeah, like as far as going into kind of all the music, I guess, that we have and the generations that we do have and our, age for our fans. Yeah, they span from, you know, in high school or younger all the way up to people in their 60s. And so it's a mixed bag for sure, when you come to a Colby Acuff show. And it's great. I mean, I think one of our biggest complaints we get is we don't play enough like 18 up venues. We play a lot of, 21 up venues. And I think, it's just hard to get through. I mean, it's a tough loophole to find, but I know we have plenty of fans who are under the age of 21 that haven't seen us yet, and we've come to their city 3 or 4 times and they just can't get in. So,
Yeah, I I tell you what, I had the privilege of taking um, two 14-year-old girls to a show, and they were in the car. Uh, I'm trying to think of, like how they act. They said, "What kind of music is this?" It was Lance Rourke and Muscadine
oh,
Bloodline,
I
and I
love Lance and
yeah
Muscadine. We've been on tour with Muscadine, and I met Lance last year. Great guys, all parties included. Great.
yeah, and I said it's country, and as 14-year-old girls are like, well, we don't have pickup trucks and we don't drink beer, so we're not gonna like it. I was like, listen, it's not that kind of country. I almost don't want to call it country. And I said, you'll be fine. And they went in there, doing all like the Snapchats and taking selfies. Like they just thought it was cool to be in a place. But once Lance got on and they were like, oh, I was like, yeah, yeah, not country, but country. And they were like, oh, this is
Yeah.
amazing. And I was like, hey, and what was really cool because I was telling them, I was like, yeah, I know Lance. I said, well, we'll go over and meet him. And they were like, oh, okay, eye roll. And next thing you know, this guy taps me on the shoulder. I turn around, it's Lance, and he's like, "What's up, man?" I was like, "What's up?" And all these, everybody around was so excited, and I was like, "Sing!" I was like, "Sing!" And then it was pretty cool because, like, I know if we had gone to see you, it would have been the same
Yeah.
reaction.
Well, and it sucks. The one thing that really needs to happen, and I don't know who's going to name this, but someone has to, because in my like genres are tough to deal with in general,
Um,
but you know, like the whole like Americana thing, that was a name that was given by mainstream country to us to kind of tell us to go away. But someone's got to name it. It's like in the 70s, someone named the outlaw country thing, and that
mhm.
worked super well. It gave them a place to live. And it's still to this day. I mean, you still have serious outlaw country. Like that name has stuck forever. But it's really hard to tell people like I'm a country artist.
Yeah,
Like cuz I would say I am, and I would say it proudly because I do love country music, but the waters have been muddied for sure, and it's
dude.
very tough for people to wrap their head around like because I think even someone who I feel bad if someone's going to a show and they're like, "Oh, what does he play?" and they're like, "Oh, it's country music." And they're like, "Oh, I love country music. I listen to the radio all the time." And they show up to my show, they might be like, "What is this? This is not country," you know,
Yeah,
from their definition of it. So it kind of goes both ways but someone's got to name what we've been doing. Not what
yeah,
me specifically, but like me in this scene that I've been in for the last 5 years. Like
100%.
cuz we just get I mean, cuz then we're not, we're either too country to be a part of something or we're not enough country to be a part of something or whatever it is, but like we need a place to live, man. Like it's getting crazy.
Yeah, dude, 1,000%. Because
Yeah.
because when people ask like country versus metal, and they're like, "Well, I don't like country," I'm like, it's not like that, and I never have like a very specific answer, and they're like, "Well, what's different?" I'm like, it's real, it's authentic, it's good, but
It's
like,
good. That's
yeah, and people are like, "Well, that's subjective," and I'm like, "Man, I'm telling you," but like. Like the songs on the radio, they like how do they suck the soul out of some of these tracks, and man, like I'm not a fan of snapping and clap,
yeah.
like that. And I'm like, dude,
What's so
like it,
funny is there's nothing I love. Like I love claps in songs if I can tell that they were done live. Like a live clap that's not pasted. Like doing a clap take
yeah,
versus a clap like input.
yeah, that like,
And it's unfortunate because clap and snap track inputs have essentially just like made it to where like when people hear claps and stuff, they just think it's like some inhuman thing. But I don't know, like that early like Motown stuff where they're all clapping and singing and
mm-hmm,
like they have that is so human. Like it feels so good to listen to that. Um, but it is funny how like that stuff has just become so disgusting.
yeah.
Like you hear it and you're like, oh my
Uh,
god.
my drummer will do it on purpose because he knows I'm gonna snap my neck around and go, come on, man.
Yeah.
He's just like, gotcha. But yeah, like that all like I definitely know like what you mean by like the difference. But yeah, telling people like when somebody like today, what's he play? He's country, but man, you really need to really listen to this. It sounds like Pink Floyd. Well, they're not country, and I'm like, man, it's. I guess the core thing would just have to be the song, and there's a lot of truth in it, and it's. I just get angry because I know there's people out there like me that like hard music, that but also like literature and like getting stories and love all the old story songs. Like some Pink Floyd songs are like 18 minutes, you know, like, and you
Right.
have the
Yeah.
attention span for it. And like, if I were the devil, the lyrics in that song are, they're like deliciously evil.
Yeah.
Like,
It's a crazy song. Yeah.
oh, dude, I love it. Get rid of all the wolves because I prefer the sheep. And yeah,
Yeah.
it's great, man. That's a great introduction into like just every your writing and just how different it is, and just how like that could satisfy a lot of people. It's the, and like the thing with the TikTok, it's just like, just got to get it in front of these people and have them listen without that negative connotation of, oh, this is country. And you know, they think,
Yeah.
oh, you play the song backwards, he gets everything back. Gotcha. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, and it's like, I mean, so my favorite artist is Sturgill Simpson,
okay.
and Sturgill is a great example of someone who like essentially, I can't remember when Metamodern came out. I think it came out in 2010, and I was in high school. Yeah, I was like a freshman or something. And when it came out, it just was like it was so unapologetically country, but it had like weird like psychedelic tones over the top of it, and then also the writing was really good. And I think the argument that I'm making is, when you like, I'm a songwriter first, probably more than anything, and so I just love writing songs. And so when I get done with a song that I really like and I know I'm going to cut it, I just start thinking about what I want it to sound like when I put it, into a record. And sometimes I can define a whole record, sometimes it can just define a track. But, essentially, if I'm like, oh, I'm really thinking that this would sound good on this one, like, oh, like, let's just use Bruce, for example. Like, oh, it'd be really cool if we reference kind of Pink Floyd for this. And because Pink Floyd's really cool, I think it would be a good reference. Well, the whole record doesn't sound like that. So for that one, it was just track dependent. But we hit exactly what we wanted to do. And then it was like, okay, on to the next one. What do we want this to be like? And then you end up with a whole record, like a whole piece. And like for that one specifically, American Son, it's like one of the most diverse records I'll probably ever make. I mean, every single song is so different.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny. Like the first time I heard Sturgill Simpson and like Turtles All the Way Down, I'm like, what in the Frank Zappa?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
loved it. Like you said, there's so many cool, like ethereal, cool sounds, and yeah, he's definitely, and he can play too.
Oh yeah, I just
I,
saw him.
oh
I just
really?
watched him. Yeah, I saw him. We played of all places too. It was pretty awesome. We played Stagecoach, and he was direct support for Jelly Roll that night. And he came out, man, and I've tried to see him 3 other times. I'm a huge fan, and I've just yet to have the show work out. First one got canceled because of COVID. Second one got canceled because of the flooding down here. And so I finally got to see him at Stagecoach, where it's like the quintessential place for him, where he does, he's so anti kind of like the machine. And for him, I'm like, I don't know who gave him this support slot, or like who gave him this slot, but they might be regretting it soon. But it was awesome. He did so good, and yeah, I can always kind of look to him, I guess, like in a fan standpoint, of like, okay, like this is, how does he go against the grain here? What was the choice that he made here? What does this look like? And at the end of the day, he did the same thing. He just wanted to make good music. So
Have you ever met him?
no, no, and I don't know. We do one more festival with him this year, and it's one of those things where like, whether I meet him or not, like and he, whatever. But whether I meet him or not, the impact that he's had on me personally as an artist is, especially just like mentality wise, but it's been good.
Yeah. So if you do meet him, it'll definitely be organic.
If I meet him, I'm not going to say anything, probably. I'm just going to be like, very good.
Very nice. What if
Yeah, yeah.
dude, what if he just walks up to you and goes, "What's up, Colby? Like, I love your
Well,
music."
I mean, then I'd just be like, oh man, that's great. Who are you? No, just kidding. No. I'd be like, oh my
Talk to my
God.
publicist.
Yeah. No, I'd be like, oh my God, that's incredible. I mean, that would be great, you know. I mean, I just feel like he's someone who keeps to himself quite a bit. And I just, you know, it's also nice to have I've met a lot of my favorite bands and artists, you know, to be just 100% honest. I've been really lucky to where I've been in a situation where I've got to talk to them and I've, you know, kind of become friends with a lot of them. Um, and one thing that I was actually talking to my band about after the Stagecoach show was I was like, it just feels so good to just be a fan of someone, you know, like, and I don't, it's a really strange relationship, but it feels so nostalgic. Because like the new normal is like someone walks on stage or at a festival and I'm like, oh, I just was with them and I told them I was going to come watch their show and I'm super excited to watch their show and they're great. But there's something about like I listened to Metamodern and a lot of Sturgill when I was in high school, all the way through college, all the way through my career. I never met him. I've only seen him once. That feels nostalgic to me. That feels like I can step back and be like, I don't know him. I'm a huge fan. I'm just another guy in the crowd, like just watching the show. And there's something that like I really I hold on to that pretty hard.
Yeah, definitely like the and also the mystique of
Yeah.
it is cool. Like when because now do you think like when you are a huge fan and like I never really thought about it like when you get to like meet and hang out with your favorite artist, is it, is it in a way I guess it does take away a little bit of that excitement, you know, because I don't know. I
Yeah.
never really thought of it because now you're like, oh, you know, you walk after the show, you hang out with them, have a couple drinks, and, you know, and just well,
Yeah, and I don't know if it takes away from the excitement, but it definitely takes away from the like the mystery of what you've kind of painted them to be.
yeah,
And whether it's great or bad, like it's still you have a new relationship with your favorite artist. It used to be you'd play it in your car, you listen to it, you know, whenever, and it was like this thing for you. And the song was so much more important than the artist. But then when you meet then you meet the artist, and you know, you have a personal connection to the artist. The song now has a connotation with the relationship, and whether it's a great relationship or you know whether it's really bad, like I don't know if that necessarily matters, but the thing has changed a little bit in some way.
yeah. That's a cool way to think about that because you know, like especially if you have grown up and it's like they they've been there with maybe possibly if especially if you use their music to get through something they've
Oh
been
yeah,
with you and some of your it could be your happiest moments, your darkest moments, and
yeah,
like they've literally been in the car with you or the truck, or, you know, the first
and
dates,
and they
last
don't
dates.
know. They don't
Yeah,
know. They have no idea, you know. So like I don't know. It's always fun though. I mean, and I mean, I don't know. I go to the merch table every night pretty much and talk to people, and you know, I see it all the time. People have people talk to me typically like they've known me for years, you know, which I think is really good. I actually really enjoy it. And I love hearing, you know, I love hearing the songs doing their job. Like when I write a song, because once you release it, it's not yours anymore. Like it's theirs, and they get to do whatever they want to it, you know. And it's nice when it finally comes back around, and they're like, "Oh man, this is what this song means to me," and I'm like, "Perfect. That's exactly what it's supposed to be," you know.
now has another song ever came back to you and you thought, man, that's another great song. Someone's
Oh, as in like this is what I thought it meant.
yeah, and you're like, dude, that's a song
Um,
right there.
Not really that comes to mind, but that would be super funny. Um, I feel like did I ever do that with a song? I don't think I ever did it with a song, actually. But that is really funny. Actually, I never thought of that. Typically, when people say what they think a song means and it's like not, I'm just like, yeah, man, like, you know, it's whatever you want it to be, or, you know, I don't, because it is whatever you want it to be. Like, just because I wrote it with some kind of intention does not mean that that's how it's going to be digested.
Yeah. Now, I have to ask, has anybody seriously asked you if you're the devil?
No, but I have heard stuff from people where they're like, yeah, my like when I first came out and like for my younger fans, they were like, "Oh, we don't want you to listen to this because it's about like being the devil." And I'm like, "Dude, come on." Like the song is literally about kind of everything that's wrong in the world, probably including this opinion that you have. Like just let everyone listen to it. Like it's literally it has no truly it has no like biblical
Yeah.
meaning. It literally just is a third party perspective on the planet or like humanity, I guess. But anyway, I have heard that stuff before. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, it's all fun.
Oh, that's good. Because you know how some parents are. Or what was it, that movie? Detroit Rock City. It was a Kiss.
Yeah,
The Knights in Satan's Service. There's always
yeah,
some people
yeah,
that take it way too serious, or they just get something stuck in their head. Because I was, just listening to the other day. I'm like, I wonder if someone just, some people just take stuff way too literal.
Oh yeah. I mean, people really do take that song to heart. There's a lot of things that people want to talk to me about that song about. So, but never that one. That's an interesting one though.
It, is there a song that like I know you said Bruce, you thought that was going to take off. Is there like one that you really thought was like this is the one, and it just didn't? It didn't move.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'd say like it happens fairly often just because I love all the songs very equally, especially like right when I write them. Some songs I'm like, oh, this probably isn't gonna like sometimes it's just when you write something and then you put it in, you kind of have a choice to make every now and then in the studio where it's like, who is in the mind, like who in whose eyes am I making this for? And most of the time, we service the song the best we can. And to service the song, I do a lot of times I do think of the consumers, not too like heavily, um, but mostly just for like tasteful stuff and whatnot. Um, but yeah, I mean, I thought Through My Window Pane was going to be a massive song. It's on Western White Pines, the deluxe version. It was just like an acoustic song. I thought for some reason well, it's one of my favorite songs I've ever written. Just like lyrically, I thought it was great. So I thought that was going to go. It had some legs for a little bit, but not like I thought it would. But there's been probably a handful of them that I'm like, damn, this really should have got some attention and, slips through the cracks.
It and nowadays it it may be just waiting for. I see a lot of people, they put out songs and they're great, and like the numbers stop moving, and somebody will make a video with that sound on a social media app and just bring it back to life. And some of them they spread like wildfire. It's so crazy of how it has to be weird as an artist of when, because you're always getting ready to promote new music, and then you're like, whoa, hold up, that one on our first EP is blowing up, and it's like just
Yeah,
because
I mean,
someone made a meme video.
you never know. You literally never know. That's the best part about the age that we live in right now is that there is always a chance. This isn't, that's the one thing about the 70s that sucked is that like it was pretty bought and paid for. Like now, I mean, you can, anything is possible at this point.
Yeah, and it's all from the palm of your hand. Like
Yeah.
it's modern day flyering on a huge scale, global. You're literally
Oh yeah.
flying to the whole globe. Back in the day when you show had a band, everything that was made of wood or cork,
Hmm.
and handing them out, or like, hey, you're at a gas station. Hey man, you like this? Hey my man, it's selling tapes,
Yeah.
and now you don't even need physical media. It's crazy, and I do miss holding something in my hand, but
Yeah. I mean,
it
we
could.
still sell a ton of vinyl.
Oh,
So
that's good.
that makes me feel good. Like people are buying vinyl still. A lot of vinyl's being moved, which is great. And I think vinyl community is awesome. It takes forever to make vinyl nowadays, unfortunately, but I do like vinyl. I think that's great. But I also love that, like it's not the only thing, so that we don't have to buy a bigger trailer and we don't have to, when everything is physical, that means you also got to haul more physical shit, that can be kind of tough. But I do love, I think vinyl right now is definitely one of my favorite things as far as like shit that you can move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool, and they can do some like really cool stuff with it. It's
Oh
in
yeah.
its sense, it like album covers used to be a big deal, and I love how album covers are getting more thought in them again. Not that they weren't to, but to the sense where people were really taking account. Like people are gonna hold this. They might even like put it on the wall, and
Yeah.
then like you take the physical vinyl out, and some of them are like swirls or they have these cool designs, and it's like, man, I love that, and I love some bands, they do like different pressings, like American Aquarium always has cool pressings, and
Yeah.
it's it's cool to be able to hold it, because I was always the one to take the sleeve out of the CD or the cassette tape and read, and it, it was just, I don't know, because like I will remember the track titles a lot when I can see them, because now like it's like, oh, this is a good song, and I'll have to like if I'm driving, sometimes I can't look at what the song
Right.
title is, and then it's like lost. And but when you physically put that in to something, you know exactly what's on there, and I kind of miss that too. I love like everything is, it's just sitting there waiting for you to press play, but still at the same time, it is nice. You got your Colby Acuff, you know exactly who you're listening to, and like what album.
Well, and they don't, it also completely incentivizes listening to full records. That's
Yeah,
the part that bothers me the most. I'm an album artist. Like I believe in albums and I believe in albums for like a very selfish way. Like I want to make albums,
yeah,
you know, I don't want to make singles just for the sake of making music. What gets me excited to create music is to make a full body of work every year, something that I can look back on and go, oh man, this was what happened in 2025. This is why I made this record in 2026. Like those things to me are super important. And I understand that the world is moving and it's time to catch up. And like, I understand, but there is a place for albums.
yeah. Now, from listening to your albums, are you like, when you start in one studio, that's where you finish your album?
Yeah.
Is that
We only cut records in one go. We
okay?
don't cut and then take a break and go out on the road and come back and then cut another song or two. At least we've never done it that way. We've always just sat down and been like, all right, we're buckling down for a week or 2 weeks or however long it takes, and we're gonna make a record.
You can hear it. Like if you sit down and you just listen, I I, I like that. Especially now, because with the way some songs are, like you get different guys doing mastering on this and that, and it's you like fighting the volume. It's just like everything's all at the same. It's not like the songs aren't the same style, but they just have like the same cool. Like it just sounds like a collective collection of music that was made in like the same room, like how they used to do
In
it.
the same time, yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, and I think time is big because, like, what if I'm in one mood for the first week and it's great. We come back, I'm tired, I'm not in a good mood. The second cut session is terrible. Those songs are going to suffer immensely, depending on mood, timing, whatever. But like, if I can just sit down and focus for a week or two, and it's just fun, making music shouldn't be a pain in the ass. It should
yeah,
just be fun. And so that's, in the studio, that's all I've ever tried to do. It's just have fun with creating because, the other way I look at it is like, I usually get to do it about once a year. We put out a record every single year. We get to do it once a year. I look forward to it. I don't want it to suck. I want the experience to be awesome and be like, oh, I remember when I made this record, how fun it was.
yeah. You could definitely hear it, and there's not a lot of people that I feel like that do that, and there are, but it's just, I don't know. Maybe it's just
There's
me being old.
I I will no, but I mean I will say like we're definitely we do a lot of things in an old fashioned way, and I believe in those things pretty staunchly. But there's just not a lot of it anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing it less and less, especially like in the road dog world of like, dude, we drive 80, like last year we drove 86,000 miles in a van, a Sprinter van and trailer. And there's just not too many people doing that anymore. And the argument is like you should spend that time making TikToks at home versus being out on the road and selling tickets. My argument is I just would rather be on the road selling tickets and trying to build brick by brick. And whether I'm dumb or whether it's going to work, whatever the way it is the way it is. But the way I look at it is either way you're building it brick by brick.
Yeah.
Um, and I know at the end of the day, if you can sell tickets, you can survive. So that's kind of my MO.
Yeah. And like, I get the single thing, but like you said, like, man, there's different house kits. There's always different microphones, and it could sound. I guess like with the whole collective doing it all, it sounds like the same guys got
Yeah.
together, and it probably doesn't even necessarily have to be, but it's just the same. Like when you put on that old Led Zeppelin record, like it wasn't. It's not like it was like put together like a puzzle.
Yeah.
Of like like, oh, we went here and then we did some down here, and I do like, especially like using the same guys or just having the same producer for an entire body of work. I just think it shines through the music, and people that like love music, that it, hey, there's some people they're just there for the anthem, and like
Yeah.
these are pretty songs, but like I just, man, I just like cranking the volume and just getting in there, like it.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think that's definitely, I always say like we're a daily driver for people. Like we actually see our most streams like when people go to work and when they come home from work, Monday through Friday.
That's
And then
awesome.
we take a hit Saturday and we take a big hit on Sunday. And then it starts over again Monday. And like I watch the streaming stuff and I'm like, damn, man, like we're a working man's musician, or a working woman's musician. That's how I feel. I feel like the majority of my fans, when I get to meet them, they're blue collar. They need music. That's another thing. Like we have song fans because people use our songs to get through things. Whether it's happy, sad, whatever, I mean, you can put on Colby Acuff and kind of have any emotion because one, we have a lot of music out, but two, just because it's so vast, the dynamics on the thing, like on the entire discography, is pretty deep. As far as you can get solo acoustic, you can also have full band, like Pink Floyd sounds. You can also go and something sounds like Willie. There's a ton of stuff on there. And so that's kind of what I've noticed, I guess, with our fan base is, yeah, we're like a working man's whatever, but that's where we kind of lock in.
That's crazy how you can analyze the data like that. That you
Oh
just like,
yeah,
people start their morning with Colby and coffee.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
That's wild.
yeah, because most artists do see like on the weekends they'll see like Saturday, and then, every now and then we'll get a Saturday bump and whatnot. But like a lot of them, weekend bands, more like party music or stuff that's kind of more catchy. You'll see it go up on Friday, Saturday nights. But not us. We live in the work week.
Like, you can scientifically say you are a working person's band. The
Totally.
data
Yeah,
supports it. That's,
it does. Yeah, science.
yeah, science, bitch.
Yeah, exactly.
Colby Acuff. Oh, but that remind me of you're doing shows with John Party,
Yeah,
and man, like, I didn't know a lot of, like, I don't even know if like you would can call him like a Nashville guy, but I didn't hear a lot of like country music that was recent. But I was playing with the band, and his song, what is it? Sand on my boots, or sand in my boots, or
Or Dirt on My Boots,
dirt on
maybe.
my boots. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
Sand in boot. That's that other dude. Yeah, that's it. Boom, boom, dum,
yeah,
dum. I I like that song. It's a lot of fun to play, and
yeah,
that's cool. You're going on tour with him because I know you did Luke Combs too, right?
yeah. That was
That's
last year. Yeah, that was crazy. And you know, Luke and his whole team, everybody on that tour was so nice. That I mean, we were on a stadium tour run. Like we had no business being there, essentially. And I remember talking to Luke about it, and Luke was like, "No, dude, you're here because you know you deserve to be here. I want you to be here. Like, it's awesome." And it was great. And you know, it's the biggest thing with the John Party run that I'm so excited about is, you know, it's the same thing where, you know, we didn't have to call in a favor. We just went independent a couple months ago, and John asked us to be on this tour. So like that's a mainstream dude, like not down the middle, but you know, he's playing country. But he got me and Jake Worthington, and it'll be great, man.
that's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw you play Penn State, dude.
Yeah. It was
What?
wild.
It, you walk off that stage, like how long did that? I mean, essentially, it's an endorphin. It's a high. How long was that after? Like how many times did you ask people to like pinch me, man? Did we just do that? Because that I've been
I
there.
mean, I would
It's
say the
huge.
highest one was the first one though. Like Penn State was crazy, don't get me wrong, but like the highest high, the biggest endorphin run is the first stadium. And that was in Milwaukee. We played the baseball stadium there,
Oh wow.
and just like so unbelievable, you know. And then we did 13 stadiums with Luke that year. And as it goes on, like I was never used to it, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I was always like, oh my God, I can't believe we're doing this every single day. Um, but there is some like desensitizing to it a little bit. And the Penn State day, the Penn State show was a little crazy because we were driving there and it was just pouring rain. And we missed the exit for the turnpike.
Oh no.
And the turnpike there is like your next exit's 45
I
miles.
know.
Yeah, and we were already late. And we're like, oh, we're gonna be like 2 hours late.
Yeah.
And so we were like all stressed getting there. We get there, we sound check, and then we played. Yeah, then it was like, whoa, this is crazy. But Penn State Day was a little bit hectic for sure.
Yeah. That's funny. It's like yeah, up there and around like West Virginia, if you miss your exit, especially when you're hauling a trailer, some of those exits are like 40, 50 miles. It's
Dude,
terrible because you can't.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable. We missed it, and then the map changed on the deal, and it was like expected time went up like 2 hours, and we're like, that cannot be real. And we're like, nope, that's it. That's the way
Yeah.
she goes.
Oh my God. Yeah, I know exact. I've been up there a bunch of times. It's man, I went up there with my friend, and they never told me they were scared to pass tractor trailers. I was like, "Are you kidding me? That's all that's up here." I
Yeah,
was like,
yeah, don't do that.
"I'm like, no, no, no. We are going to die. You need to pass these because everybody else. Well,
But yeah,
what a
going
nightmare drive.
100, yeah.
But yeah, that's like one of uh, the biggest attendance, biggest stadiums, right? It's definitely
Yeah, Luke sold 83,000 tickets that night. There's only been 3 shows there ever, and Luke was one of them. So I feel really blessed to be able to do that one. Just because, like, even if my career were to tomorrow morning skyrocket into the oblivion, I still don't know if I'd ever be able to pull off Penn State again. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like, I can play a lot of great venues, had been really, really blessed to essentially only be doing this full time or like professionally for the last 3 years and get a lot under my belt in that amount of time. Um, but to do that one again, I mean, you got to be so big. I mean, you got to sell 83,000 tickets in one night.
yeah,
And I'm totally cool, you know, if that doesn't happen, and I'm just totally cool that I got to do it one time and it was awesome.
And that's a lot of people traveling there too. Because I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
it's in the
Yeah.
middle of nowhere. Like you
Oh
drive
yeah.
up and you're like, oh, cows. And then out of nowhere, there's
Yeah.
20, 30,000 people that just want to party their ass off.
Yeah. It was fun though. It was a great night.
Yeah, that's cool. So what could shake you after that? Was there anything like a venue that do you get the like the heebie jeebies on again or
The only time that I'm like, "Oh my god," and I get real nervous and anxious about getting on stage, it's not when they're too big. It's when, like, if, you know, we're playing somewhere we've never played before and maybe it didn't sell very good. That's when I'm more like, "Oh god," because 'Cause I'd rather play in front of 80,000 people than 2,
yeah.
you know? So, like, if it's a lot of people, I get super excited, and really the only times I get kind of like, a little nervous is when it's a little smaller. Like I said, like something that we did, like our first year on tour, especially, you know, first year didn't sell amazingly. And so a lot of those shows, I was like, oh my God, like you got to get up and give them a show, you know? But those people that came out, you know, they come out to the next show and then they bring someone else and they come out to the next show and the next show. And thankfully now we don't have to go through that too much. Every now and then though, we end up in somewhere where I'm like, where are we and what is this?
Who
But
booked
you know,
this?
it's the name of the game. So
Yeah. That's cool that you're doing well. Cuz like I said like it's every time I see you, you know, doing an interview, doing a podcast, and everything, you just seem like it's just a dude who loves music who's in it just because you just seem like someone like you have to do it. It's like for your soul, and and you're good to the people that listen to you. And I just you just seem like a really cool, just stand up guy. I'm glad to see that
well, I
you're doing so
appreciate
well.
it. Yeah, I appreciate it. I mean, I think, you know, it's one of those things where I like I said, I mean, we were just like the most basic standard practice guys, pretty much you could see. Um, but yeah, we do love music and music to me isn't really it's not a job. It's not a, you know, whatever. It's like something that I couldn't like stop doing it if I wanted to. I tried to quit music twice when I was once in going into college, and then the second time was when I got out of college. And both times just something brought me back in, and I just can't leave it alone. Um, and it's not like I feel like some duty to do it. It's kind of a selfish thing. Like I really want to do it. And I love playing and I love the interactions and we love the road. And I mean, I don't know, just like everything that most people complain about is other things that I really like about music. You know, that's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of the world I was brought up in, I guess, kind of the world I live in.
Yeah. If what people don't like about being on the road and music and they're your things you like, then yeah, you definitely 10 steps ahead of the game.
Got a great crew, man. We got a great crew. We got a great road family. You know, I've had the same guys in my band for a very long time, and we haven't gotten tired of each other yet. So, and every time we bring someone new on, they mold right in. Um, I love my team, and just we always, you know, try to keep things as light and fun as possible. You know, even if the world's burning around us, our job is still pretty cool. So,
Yeah, dude, that's a great way to be. Especially like you get it, like life happens. Sometimes people have kids and
oh yeah,
they have to step away from music. But my one buddy, he really pointed it out. He was like, once you get like fans, they want to see that lineup. You know, they want to see the same faces that they've seen time and time again. And you know, this thing, that can be a challenge to do, and it's really cool to see that you guys have stuck around from the beginning because
I, yeah.
music can be cutthroat. That's
Well, my boys, I mean, you know, sometimes I'm like, damn, I'm shocked you guys are still here. Some of the shit that, you know, we've walked into and walked out of. And I mean, dude, sometimes like my job essentially on the road is you know, I'm essentially a morale guy. Like, I have to keep things up no matter what. Everything's gonna be okay, you know? And I always find that some days I don't do that job very well. Walk into something that's just like, "Oh my god, how is this what we're gonna have to do today?" And it kinda I'm not gonna say it breaks me, but I'm tired, and we've been doing this a
Yeah.
long time, and sometimes I'm just like they can just see it on my face where I'm like, "Jeez." And they'll walk over to me and just be like, "Dude, it's fine, like, we're gonna" like, then they get then they do it to me, you know? And to have guys like that in the band, all of them, you know, not just my tour manager or just whoever, like, every single guy in the band is looking out for each other. We are truly a family on the road. Um, and yeah, you know, I think it's we have a great relationship, of, you know, I'll take care of you and we all take care of each other. That's the MO.
Yeah. That's it's hard to find in a band.
Extremely. Extremely. Yeah.
Yeah, because you know musicians are they can be very complicated people.
Oh, for sure. I mean, and I think the acceptance of the complication is the key. Like, we all come from, you know, kind of different backgrounds and beliefs and whatever it may be. But at the end of the day, like, if I disagree with you on something outside of this, it can't come into this because, like, on stage, I've always noticed too, if not ever with this band, but I've had bands in the past where if there is an issue between two people, the only thing that suffers is the music.
Yeah.
The show is terrible. There you can like sense music has like a very especially when you're playing it, you know, definitely when you're listening to it, but when you're playing it, if there's some kind of negative, toxic bullshit going on, like it will just tank the show. You can feel it.
Yeah. It's like Tim Lightyear did like a mini documentary, and he was talking about like running the band hours, sleeping for 3, driving for hours, play a show, driving for hours, playing for show, sleep 2 hours, and he was just sitting there at the bar, being like, "Man, dude, we're gonna have a fight. Like something is gonna happen. We need to get ahead of this. We all love each other. We don't want it, but." It's just inevitable that they just
Yeah.
all this time on the road. I just thought that was the interesting thing with him to sit down, and just realize that, hey, we're all tired, and we've all been there. Like it can just be something so little, and just because you're just tired, before you know it, something so dumb, like who ate my burrito, can
Yeah,
turn
and then
into
it
like,
just
yeah, it's
oh
just like,
yeah. Yeah. And that that's the thing where when we do get tired and we get run down, we're usually more of like we don't take too many things super seriously, including ourselves. So when we are tired, we have like a pretty big like embrace the suck mentality. So if it sucks, we usually just like lean into it and make it funny and try to make it somewhat enjoyable. And if someone is not having a good time, then we just talk about it, and but we've been really lucky, man. Like no fights, no, nothing crazy. Just like 9 dudes hanging out. That's pretty
yeah,
much that's our life.
yeah, that's good to hear. But
Yeah.
is there anything else you want to talk about? We're going like in an hour and 20.
Yeah, I know. We've been crushing it. No, man. I mean, I appreciate the opportunity to be on here. I will say for all those who are listening and watching right now, um, we're gonna stick true to our colors, and we do have new music coming out this year, a whole new record. So get ready for that. I don't have a release date yet, so don't ask me. Um, but yeah, no, I'm excited about everything. We're on tour right now. Get tickets at colbyacuff.com. New music's coming out soon, and yeah, looking forward to the whole year.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, doing shows with John Party, and I saw you're doing a show with Gavin Adcock.
Yeah, yeah, we're gonna do a show with Gavin in Indiana this year. Here coming up soon, next month. Should be super fun. I'm actually looking forward to it. I think it'd be awesome.
Yeah, I, I'm looking forward to seeing videos.
Yeah, I think it'd be great, man. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, he's definitely one of those ones where it, every time I just like how people were memeing just how he 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 mimes his own music, and he gets like millions of views on it, and I love it. And I
Yeah,
just know so many people are so frustrated. They're like, well, why is it so easy for him? And it's just like, just I don't know. I would love to know. It's just so funny when
Just
other
do it.
artists.
Like this is one of those things where like, in music promotion, every single time that something comes out, people don't want to do it because it seems lame or like it doesn't seem to fit, what they think is cool for music promotion. But dude, at the end of the day, like that was TikTok originally. That was early age TikTok, just in
Mhm.
general, not the content that you were posting. And so like, and then once the industry gets caught up, you're too late. Like you gotta hop on. I'm not a trend seller of sorts, but every now and then the promotion of your art has to be not self-serving
Yeah.
sometimes, you know?
Yeah. Definitely. Totally agree.
So I'm looking forward to the shows, Gavin, and looking forward to shows throughout the whole year. I mean, we're out there pretty much every single weekend. We have a little break in June, and then we're hitting the road running from July until the day I get married in October. So we are running.
Oh, nice. Congratulations.
Thanks, man. It'll be great.
Yeah. Well, if anybody can go see uh, Colby, make sure you guys can go. I think the closest you come to me is like Connecticut,
Where are you based out of?
Delaware. I guess.
Yeah. We're gonna be in Connecticut, July 7th, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, and I saw. Is the first show Richmond, Virginia?
Yeah, that's next month, or that's
Okay.
like 10 days away. Yeah.
Yeah. I've been down there. That's a cool music town. The guys that
Yeah, I
are
love Richmond.
yeah the guys like you that are playing the real country. They always stop there and they just skip right over where I'm at.
I
Like,
know. I know. It's
I'm like, man,
tough.
I wish there was an easier way to get down there because Washington traffic. You'll see.
It sucks. No, I
Um,
know. I mean, I've been through it a lot. I know. It's terrible. It's
yeah,
terrible.
yeah, Washington or driving your trailer over the Washington Bridge up in New York. You're
Oh,
like
we've done it all, man. We've played.
$74.
I mean, I think at this point we've played. What we haven't played Hawaii, Alaska, Rhode Island, and probably Delaware. Like that, we've played damn near every state, and I've been to 49 states. I just haven't been to Alaska yet.
Nice.
So
Yeah,
we're always out there,
yeah,
somewhere.
definitely.
We're always out there.
Yeah, it's a good thing to be running out of states as a musician. Just
Yeah, I
spreading
like
that
it.
good music.
Yeah, man. Well, I appreciate it once again, man. Seriously, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, dude. Thanks for coming on. Uh, yeah, literally couldn't have done it without you. Smooth and
Well,
but yeah, man, dude. Congratulations on getting married, and yeah, safe travels on the road. And I hope you guys have a great time. And
thank you,
excited
man.
for new music.
Hey, anything for you, man. If you want to come out to a show, just let me know. We'll get you tickets.
All right, definitely. Thank you. Well,
Thanks, boss.
yep. You have a good rest of your night, Colby.
Bye.
All right, see ya.